let me say something that's the biggest rupture in all of that, and that's Brexit. And
imagine being 18 in 2025 and not being able to vote in that referendum 9 years ago, but wanting to use European citizenship, which we used to have, but we lost thanks to a plebiscite which you never voted in, but you're told you have to respect.
What do you think they should do?
Look, selfishly, I've got plans. I'd like to work on the continent and travel freely, so naturally it suits me to join the EU, but from
You want to join the EU again?
I would.
How old were you when we Brexited?
I was 9. So times change, but
Times change.
18 years old now, looking to move to the continent. I quite like the idea of rejoining.
Okay.
And personally, from hearing the discussions today, I don't really feel as though the UK is strong enough by itself to talk tough to President Trump. Personally, I'd feel as though we'd be much stronger with a customs union, a single market, even the entire EU, but definitely a single market. Like, do you guys agree with that? That would be much stronger with a
We're going to hold that as a
union?
rhetorical question. Thank you very much indeed for your thought, George.
Back in 2022, George Osborne, former British Chancellor, was on Channel 4 News giving Brexit both barrels of reality. So much is going on now after the local elections and the disaster particularly for the Conservatives, but also for the Labour Party. And no doubt pressure will begin to build on the Labour leadership because the Ming vase has well and truly smashed the Brexit red lines, which Keir Starmer, for whatever reason, decided to hem himself in with, are now really causing problems. Andy Burnham was on Channel 4 and he certainly is showing that he is not happy with the way things are, and he certainly gave a Brexit reality trip and reminded people that it is Brexit which is the problem.
of course, challenging elections for a government which, in my view, had the worst inheritance of any government of my lifetime.
The question was, is Keir Starmer doing a good job as Prime Minister?
Yes, he's getting to grips with fundamental things that are wrong with the way the country is at the moment, things that were neglected in the years of Conservative government. So you cannot turn that around straight away.
The biggest welfare cuts since George Osborne and austerity, living standards set to fall by the end of the Parliament, according to one analysis, child poverty set to rise by the end of the Parliament, according to another analysis. What is good, in your view, about any of that?
Well, that's obviously speculation, isn't it? You know, I'm in with the Treasury this week and also presenting to Parliament a plan for the Northern Arc, where we're saying we can build on the growth that Greater Manchester has had in the last decade. We've had an average of 3% growth over the last 10 years.
The question was what is good about any of those things that I listed, and you called it speculation. The welfare cuts, the biggest since George Osborne's austerity, that is not speculation, that is happening. Do you see any good in that?
Well, I've expressed some of my concerns about those changes, and I know there are other Labour MPs who feel the same.
You would vote against them if you were an MP now, and you'd be urging fellow Labour MPs to do the same.
If what I would be indicating would be that that would be a possibility if there weren't some changes made to the plan.
Reform leading in the polls at the minute, 10 months into a Labour government where they won a landslide. I mean, can you understand why Labour voters might be considering a vote for reform?
I can understand people's unhappiness, if you like, with politics as usual, the frustration that people feel.
With Labour?
Well, you know, in that period, let's say over the last decade, it feels like things have become broken. Don't forget, I left Westminster because I was frustrated with politics as usual down there. I came out to say, look, something fundamentally different is needed, and I think that something different is taking shape, and it's called devolution.
You had this massive platform after the last election, and 10 months in, should we be talking in that slightly defeatist way about Labour's prospects?
Go back to the 97 government, which I was a part of. If you'd have judged that 97 government after 10 months, you'd have had the same. You know,
Well, they did better
controversies.
after 1 year, didn't they?
No, there were
in the local
issues in
elections?
relation to benefits, and you know, you have to allow a new government, particularly, time to be able to turn things around.
Tony Blair wasn't losing to Nigel Farage after 1 year in office, was he? I mean, this is unprecedented.
Well, let me say something that's the biggest rupture in all of that, and that's Brexit. And I think partly what Labour now needs to do is talk more about how that has damaged the country's prospects.
Andy Burnham, thanks so much for speaking with us.
You're welcome.
I can only hope that this begins to build momentum within the Labour Party to ensure change. It is my view that the only way we can be assured of success now is for Keir Starmer to go. He was never popular. He was tolerated. But since he's come into number 10 with Freebiegate, without agreeing to relinquish the 2-child cap, the winter fuel allowance, the attack on business in the budget, including IHT, on small businesses and farms, and together with the austerity on disabled benefits, Keir Starmer is done. There is no route back for him from this. He cannot move from where he's put himself. And the only way the Labour Party can sort itself out is by sorting the economy out. And the only way we can sort the economy out is by de-Brexiting ourselves. The only other option for Brexit is to continue with this, do a disastrous American trade deal, and be pets of Donald Trump. And that is a disaster. We absolutely are better off to be trading, having free trade with our friends and neighbours who are right next door to us, and if possible, becoming members again and getting all of the benefits of being members. I am very pro actually adopting the euro. It means you don't have to pay exchange costs, and it makes everything an awful lot easier. The resistance to these realities is small-minded nationalism, and they are regressive. Britain's interests are definitely better met by being closely aligned to the European Union and being part of that trading bloc or that union. In essence, it makes no sense that the Brexiteers want to be part of a federalised America, and we would always be a limb of that. We wouldn't be central to it. And yet they're not happy to be and share power within what is the largest, most successful trading bloc in the world, the European Union. It doesn't make any sense what they want, apart from they have a crush on America, which is less regulated and allows companies, global corporations, to basically do whatever they want to exploit the environment, workers, animal welfare, everything, to exploit everything for profit. And then they just don't want any controls on that. And we have a better balance in the European Union with a better system, which is also more sensitive to our individual nations and our identity. So you're able to do both. So it's not perfect, the European Union, but it's as good as it gets.
Guys, what are you doing in there? Come on. Out of there. Oh, hello, Tufty. Hello. You having a nice time? Hey, it's exciting being out, isn't it? Hey. Okay. Come on then. Tufty. Tuft! Mummy beating me up. Fred.